what we're looking is almost for large organizations, corporations, we're recommending that they start and implement a post-pandemic preparedness office where they have people who sit in an office and say, right, if we're in lockdown 18 months down the line, what are we going to do about that situation now? How do we reflect on the future in terms of, well, are we going to need all those offices if we're not using them? Are we going to need to have these services if we predict we don't use them? And what can we do now that we can have as a checklist and as a aide-memoire, if you like, that says, fine, when we get to this point, our strategy is, we've done it for a year, we'll carry on doing it. Those are the sort of things that people should be looking at. It's like a legacy after everything is finished. That's the starting point. That's something that you will be doing to make sure that your ongoing strategy allows you the information that you need to combat or to address the issues after the pandemic is over?
Absolutely. I think, every company, every good company, including us, historically used to have these things called business continuity plans. And I think a lot of companies would give it lip service saying, well, now I've got the manual, I'll just go put it in some dusty drawer and that's it. So what we have found in the last 3-6 months, like probably millions of companies around the world, is that business continuity actually needs to be updated regularly and has to effectively be a living plan. Now, large organizations may have the flexibility, as you said, David, to have teams and so on, people dedicated to that. Smaller companies like us, I would imagine it's something that, in a way, we would approach, which is to make sure regular review to ensure that the things that we think worked well, that needed to be in place before this lockdown started, are in place on a continuing basis. So let me just give you a very basic example, a specific example, helpful or not. We've never had a knowledge management system at Harmony Capital. And what I mean by that is a online system where we can basically, the whole company can access our knowledge base of templates, financial models, how do you write a letter to a chairman of a company, whatever it is that makes our business what it is in terms of actual deliverables and products. We've now implemented that. We're in the process of implementing something like that, and then making sure that is available, updated and relevant going forward on a regular basis. If we were in lockdown, let's say 12 months out, we're in lockdown for another 6 months. We won't be all sitting there saying, can you send me this? Can you send me that? Which is how it sort of started, saying, hey, we need a knowledge management system. Now we say, no, we have the knowledge management system. That's the core essentially of our business. Some people might say, yes, we already have that in place. Well, that's great. But this is some of the sort of practical ways in which Harmony Capital is improving its business, and for the benefit of Adam as well, obviously, because we manage that business entirely. And these practical things that we're learning are going to be things that we will now not set aside just because the lockdowns are lifted, if that makes sense. They will become part of our business.
I think it makes perfect sense. And you were talking about business continuity. And you're right, I'm sure there are lots of companies who've either got one or had one before, and it's in the bottom of a filing cabinet because they've never had to use them. And now they could look at them and say, well, actually, we could update this, and this could provide us with a post-pandemic preparedness scenario that we can use. And the same as knowledge base, have it all in the same place. Which brings me on to the next scenario, is that there will be an increase in companies now providing these sort of services because they're going to be required more. In the same way as there's going to be, in the next 6 months, there'll be more than one Zoom. There might be 20 different Zooms.
Absolutely.
So, the solutions to the problems we've got haven't yet been invented. The innovation is not there, but people are working on it, and they will come up with it. And people will have to adapt.